Function is one of the fundamental building blocks in JavaScript. A function is a set of statements that performs a task or calculates a value or just do something for us. So to use a function, we need to define a function somewhere around the scope in which we want to use it. So we define a function and we call it or we use it. To define a function, we use the keyword function followed by the name of the function. Name of the function. Open close bracket, our square braces. So to call this function, all we have to do is to copy this name and call it just right here, followed by the semicolon with the bracket. I can call this function inside another function by say I define function name2, and I could pick out this whole function right here and call it ray. So immediately this function starts to run. The name2 function, it attributes the name of the function, which is the first function we created. I'm so sorry I'm using this kinds of name. We'll go into more practical examples soon. So let's create a function that does something this time around. So we'll call the function today's date, and in the function I'm going to console.log one of JavaScript method called the date. And I'm just going to call the today's date function just outside here, which is semicolon. And if I reload this on my browser, I would have today's date right here. Now this is a function I called just out. If I don't call the function, nothing would appear on my screen. So I need to call the function. Say for instance, we want to create a function that says hello. To do this, we say function say hello, and we could alert hello new user. Say we want a function that whenever a user visits the page, it gets a dialog box saying hello. So we'll copy the say hello right there, and I'll just comment this out. So if I view this on my browser, the moment I load my page, I have the hello new user on my screen. Okay, so now let's try to create a function that actually does something. A function that actually also accepts parameter. Okay, so how we'll do this is I'm gonna say function, you know how this goes by now, and I'm gonna say solve maths. And in this function, I'm just going to, just in this bracket, I'm going to pass in some parameters, and I'm going to pass these parameters separated by commas, specifically a comma b. You could use anything you like, just as long as you remember to call them. In this function, I'm going to ask it to return just a plus b. Okay, so for me to call this function, I just need to call the solve maths function right here, and I'm going to pass 2, 3. And if I reload this on my screen, sorry, I need to console this. I will have hive right here. Okay, so what I did here was to create a function and give it a name of solve maths, and then I added parameter a comma b, and I asked it to return a plus b. Note that these parameters here have been treated as constants because they are not defined anywhere in or outside the function. If I wanted to do other things for us, I could say a asterisk b, and I have 6, and that's 2, 3. So I could say 2 comma 2 surely will give us 4, and right here I have 4. Okay, so we could do a lot of things with functions. If I just want to console log this straight up, I would have written this instead: console a asterisk b, and I have 4 right there, 4 right here. So either which ways you feel is better for to do this is all good by you, but I hope in this short series we've learned how to create a function and what a function is. Just as a recap, a function is a set of statements that performs a task or calculates a value. More likely we calculated this value, and more likely the task in this case was to say hello to all users. Okay, and to use a function we must define it somewhere in the scope we wish to call it. Okay, so let's assume that this is our whole scope. We need to define it somewhere. Okay, and that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.